Thank you for attending today's Hofstra Men's Lacrosse Postgame press conference with head coach Seth Tierney. Before we open the floor to questions, Coach, please give us your thoughts following today's game against Rutgers.
Hats off to Rutgers. Very good lacrosse team, and we did not handle the day well. Need to get better, but that's a team that comes at you from every different angle. You can see by the amount of scorers that they have. They spread it out, they share it on offense, and today they got us.
Questions?
And, obviously it did result in a loss, but looking at the second half, the offense for Hofstra did turn it around. You guys scored the last 4 goals of the game. So if you're looking at, to take somewhat of a positive spin on it, what could you say about, how they were able to keep their heads up against number 8 ranked team that they were playing today?
Yeah. Appreciate the question. Great question. Let's just keep the reality part of it is we kept our guys in and they were subbing out a little bit. So the reality is, and again, they earned that right. And we didn't today. So yes, I'm proud that we scored 4 goals in the fourth quarter. I'm proud that we won 5 of 7 faceoffs, but we need to do that in the first quarter and not the fourth quarter when the game is already technically in hand.
Coach, Sterling RJ returned this afternoon, netting in a goal. Can you talk about his performance today and how you see him going forward?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we haven't seen Sterling play since the Navy game. He got hit and he was concussed. He really had one practice on Friday. He was out there on Thursday a little bit, but not against any live competition. Great to have him back. Obviously, you can see athletically he's a little bit different. Age-wise, he's a little bit different, and we can use him going forward. But I thought that, for a guy that's been out for several weeks, hasn't had a ton of practice, his cardio is probably off a little bit because that concussion injury, it prevents you from, exerting yourself until you get cleared. But I was proud of him on coming back. He had a nice goal. He had a couple of other good looks. Didn't force a ton, and we're hopeful that another week of practice that we'll have a better version of him, which we'll need versus Providence.
Ryan Sheridan has really come out strong the last couple of games. Just give us your thoughts on what he's been able to bring offensively here for Hofstra.
Yeah, Sherry came up to my office in the beginning of the week. He's had some injuries early on, and he wasn't playing great, and he knew it. He was turning the ball over. You guys saw it, and today, thrilled that he had 2 goals. Thrilled how he went to the cage. He probably could have had 3 or 4, regardless of the time of the game. Points are points, goals are goals. But I was proud of when Sherry came upstairs, and he used his thumbs instead of his fingers, and he pointed at himself and said, "I gotta start turning this around a little bit." And so awfully proud of him. He's a guy that he doesn't get wowed by who we're playing. Today we had a couple of young guys out there that were wowed by playing against a group of older, pretty skilled and talented athletic guys, and we have to settle in a lot faster than that.
Can you talk about Griffin Turner and what he's been able to contribute to this team? And we just talked about Sterling, you just talked about Ryan Sheridan, and he's being paired with those 2 on the second line.
Yep.
On the second line.
Yeah, I mean, Griff is one of these guys, his first year of lacrosse here as a freshman. There's another level to Griffin. We just haven't been able to get it out of him yet because he's so young, and with our injuries, we've needed him to come out of it. There's another version of him as well. We just haven't seen it yet, or he hasn't shown it yet in better words. And Griffin is a fundamentally sound lacrosse player. Everything he does is well thought out. He just needs more time and some confidence, and he'll have a better impact on certain games. But when he does dodge hard, his comfort level needs to just grow on game day.
Coach, goal from Will Delaney today at LSM. Talk about Will, not just his goal, but his performance, coming in with injuries to players above him.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, so Charlie Rago is out. He tore his ACL. I think you guys know that. Danny Oakes has been banged up and he's missed a lot of games, and that has had an impact as you're, when you get hurt in the same position twice, you got to go to number 3. Well, Will was number 3. He was climbing, but he was number 3. Unbelievable person, does whatever you ask him. For him to get a goal today, again, regardless of the time, thrilled for him. Competitor, for a young guy, does not get wowed. Every time he goes out there, he holds himself accountable. And if he did make a mistake, I'm sure he's watching film in an hour as soon as he gets out of an ice bath, and he's trying to get better. So thrilled for Will Delaney. While we're calling some people out, Jassy Watson played more and better today, which was great. Corey Kale really, I thought, dug in a bad loss for Hofstra Lacrosse. Corey Kale, he played like I hoped he would play, and I'm proud of him. I am, even in a tough loss. Matt Gates, you want to talk about sitting back there and looking at down the barrel of the gun of a lot of shots. He stood tall today. Again, 22 goals against. You could say, Coach, how in the heck are you giving Matt Gates, that young man? He was one of the most courageous player on our team today, to stand there and look down the eyes of a bunch of shooters that were slinging it around a little bit. So those guys need to be acknowledged, and awfully proud of them. We're going to regroup, right? Sometimes you need a game like this. There's been a cloud over our program a little bit with some injuries and some bad timing stuff and multiple injuries in the same position. We are Hofstra Lacrosse. We are going to be blue collar. We're going to get back at it on Monday. We've got another tremendous challenge in front of us versus Providence on the road. Spring break is here, so hopefully we can spend time with our schoolwork and getting healthy and getting our fundamentals back underneath us, and then we'll get in the bus on Friday and we'll head up to Providence, and we'll practice up there, and we'll go at it with them in our final game / tune-up before the conference starts. And that's what we're hanging our head on right now. Again, I'm not thrilled as a coach. We got to get back to the drawing board. We got to figure out a way to get to our guys, but we will.
You mentioned how next week against Providence is your last game before CAAs. How important is that game for you as a staff, as a team, going into CAAs when you guys have Fairfield in 2 weeks?
Everything. That game is everything, right? We are starting our CAA conference play at Providence. We need to know that. I know they're not in the CAA, but the mindset is we're preparing for a CAA opponent at Providence in 1 week.
James Philbin, he was also back in the lineup today. How does he seem to you going forward, and as you mentioned, heading into CAA plays?
Yeah, Philly is, he's had some injuries, hasn't practiced a whole lot, and again, I think that's a little bit of it. But let's, I sometimes I feel weird saying it because I don't want to take off any credit to Rutgers. It's one heck of a team right there, right? And their coaching staff and everything. Let's keep it where it is. But even some of the guys you saw out today, maybe they practiced a day or two to try to keep them healthy to get to this game. So the expectations cannot be too out of whack. We're all emotional right now. I have to calm down myself, watch the film, and go from there. And we need some anger from our guys. We need some focus from our guys, and we need to get back out there. But Philly, Sykes, Sterling, right now we have no Colton Rudd, no Sam Lutfi. Those guys are still banged up, and certainly right before the game, Dalton Seas couldn't go. So him and Richie Hickus as short stick D middies were not there today. That's why you saw an awful lot of number 17, Grayson Fike, who played with a lot of heart today, and Jassy Watson. But we were down 2 short stick D middies and our first 2 poles defensively today. That wasn't, against a team like that, going into a gunfight with a knife. and we got to get back at it. We got to win those battles sometimes.
If there are no more questions at this time, this concludes today's postgame press conference. Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.